So, news story came out today that apparently China was hacking Hillary Clinton's emails in real time. That is, as she's sending and receiving emails on her private server at home, China's getting them just as quickly as she is. This is such a bigger story than the supposed Russia hack, because the Russia hack, if it was even them that hacked the DNC and Podesta, they didn't really hack classified information, although it would still be serious if they hacked. They hacked personal information of people in the DNC and Hillary's chair, John Podesta. A lot of gossipy stuff like inside baseball stuff about how the campaign runs. That, don't get me wrong, that's a serious issue if Russia hacked it, which I think's still up in the air. But anyways, that pales in comparison to China in real time getting access to not only the same type of gossipy stuff from Hillary Clinton's emails, but also we now know there were classified emails in Hillary Clinton's server. So picture this, Hillary's the Secretary of State. One of her jobs is dealing with China, coming up with strategies, how to position ourselves geopolitically with them, what kind of strategies, decisions to use. China's getting all of her communications in real time. How do you think that plays out when you go to the negotiating table when you're talking with, when Hillary's talking with her Chinese counterparts? Obviously very poorly. And the other thing that's kind of funny about this, a couple other things is, I guess if this is true, that means China's the only group that currently has all of Hillary Clinton's emails, seeing as how Hillary's team actually destroyed a lot of her emails, even after they were subpoenaed by the FBI, which I did a previous video on. So now China, I guess, is the only, maybe Trump will include this in tariff negotiations. Hey, well, we'll reduce steel tariffs by like 0.5% if you give us all of Hillary's emails and we can finally see if she was lying and broke the law or something like that. So that's ridiculous. And then the other thing that's ridiculous about it is, remember when the dossier story first broke? The first story that broke from it, really, that was big was Trump paid hookers to pee on a bed that Obama once slept on. Of course, it's totally salacious. There's no proof of this whatsoever. In fact, there's no proof of any of the serious allegations in the dossier whatsoever. But the big story was, they called it compromat, which was the Russian term for they have embarrassing dirt on Trump, and now as president, he won't be able to act properly because he's being blackmailed by the Russians. Well, it turns out none of that was true, and what is true is if Hillary was elected, the Chinese would have had all sorts of dirt on her, and not just salacious peace stories that no one in their right mind should care about, but actual real stuff like classified information that they would have had dealing with her dealings in these emails. So it just goes to show, and the fact that there's very much a tepid response from the majority of the mainstream media and certainly the Democrats just goes to show that all this bluster about Russia is totally fake. It's just hyperventilating and being hyperbolic when in reality it's just a tool to go after Trump. That's all. If they're really concerned about other countries hacking our elections or influencing our election, it would have been the top story tonight. Everyone would have been shouting about, my goodness, it turns out all of our worst fears about Hillary's server were true. It actually was hacked. And the other thing is, it kind of makes Comey's decision not to charge Hillary acting like, it was just kind of, a whoopsie, but no big deal. It's ridiculous. I mean, they're literally, with classified information being given to the Chinese in real time, literally lives could have been endangered. We'll never know fully what exact impact that China having these emails had. So it's a big deal. It's a story that's worth looking at. And of course, who would have thought? It's a shame that a lot of people in the mainstream media that are so upset about Russia don't seem to care about this. All right, have a good one.